No. Let's try something else. Hit it, Joe.
Three idiots sharing memories with fans who watched the show. It's the best of both our worlds.
Welcome to Best of Both Our Worlds, the official Unofficial Hannah Montana Podcast, the show where three idiots share our memories with fans who watch the show so they can see the other side of the best damn Disney show ever. I am one of your hosts. I'm Jason Earles. Jackson Rod Stewart.
There it is.
I did it. All right, introduce yourselves, you clowns.
I am Douglas Danger Lieblein, still 5'10", still 165, and apparently still auditioning for the role of podcast host.
We said we'd be in touch.
Yeah.
I was one of the writers and co-executive producers of Hannah Montana. Ooh.
And I'm Shannon Flynn. I am a director. I directed on Hannah Montana several episodes, and I was the acting coach for the majority of the shows.
Could you say that slower?
I was like, what am I going to say? Where am I headed?
I know.
with
I was
this?
like, did you
introducing yourself.
Yeah,
know,
just read the script. It's your name and your title. Like, what are we doing? No, you're very, very funny. You were the beating heart of the show, and you were our rock here on Babow.
Babow. I am one of three idiots.
You are one of three. That is correct. Let's start with our sweet little Babow niblets for this episode. Shannon, since you obviously have stuff you want to say, you want to go first?
Yes, I do. We're going to be talking about episode 4 in the airing order of Hannah Montana. This one is called I Can't Make You Love Hannah If You Don't. It aired on April 14th, 2006. It was written by Kim Freeze and directed by the wonderful Roger Christensen.
Love Roger.
Give it up. Doug, I do have a question for you, though,
Yes.
before we
Already.
jump into it, which is every episode of Hannah Montana is based on a song title.
Yeah, the title of the episode.
Yeah, the title of the episode is based on a song title. What was the song for this one?
This one was Bonnie Raitt and Bruce Hornsby. I Can't Make You Love Me If You Don't. And it's a lovely sort of country folk song that a little under the radar.
Got it.
Yeah.
Perfecto. Okay, for my sweet little niblet, it's going to be a little piece of trivia again. So we had Daniel Simonis play Miley's love interest, Josh, in this episode.
Yeah.
He went on to have a pretty major guest star reoccurring role on another Disney show.
Yeah.
So the question is, what was the show and what part did he play? And we'll hit that at the end.
I love that.
My little sweet niblet.
Your little
My little
nibbly.
sweet niblet is the title of this podcast episode is what we secretly called this episode in the writer's room, and it is Who's the Boss Now, Mother...
Ba-bow.
Can I say it yet?
Yeah.
Who's the Boss Now?
Ba-bow. Ba-bow.
Ba-bow.
Okay, I think we hit our quota.
Yep.
So, what was this episode about? Give us give the refresh for the audience. Give a refresh for ourselves because we are three idiots.
Have to take the glasses off for that one because I have to read the actual words. Here's a little refresh for you. When Miley's crush on Josh, an older boy, leads to him asking her to a Hannah Montana concert, Miley is forced to be in two places at once in order to keep him interested in both her and Hannah Montana. Her fumbling attempt leads to Josh leaving the date early, losing interest in both Miley and Hannah. Robbie and Lily console a deflated Miley, assuring her that one day she'll find a boy that likes both sides of her. Meanwhile,
Back at Stately Wayne Manor.
Here we go.
Cooper's sister hits on Jackson hard.
Yes, she
And
does.
Jackson, she hit hard.
She did.
And Jackson is forced to choose between his hormones and his loyalty to Cooper.
Yeah. We know how that turns out.
Yeah, well, no, we don't.
Well,
Well, we do,
we're
but
just
we
saying.
wouldn't
might.
expect it.
So now that our memories are refreshed and
Right.
we all sort of have a sense of what the heck this episode was about, where did this come from, Doug?
Again, it's funny because this episode and what we talked about in the last podcast, both these episodes were built off of old sitcom tropes, old stories. The idea that you have to be on two dates at once is an old school sort of sitcom trope that has been around. It's Gidget did it, all the way.
I believe it makes a comeback in the Hannah Montana movie, which we'll talk at about
Yeah.
at a
Yeah, I
future
mean, just
day.
go ahead and just blow my wad like here at the beginning. That's fine. I'm just kidding. Yeah. You're right.
But that sort of trope has been around for a while, and we like early on tried to take those old sitcom conventions and turn them on their ear and make it more of a Hannah episode, Hannahfy it, so to speak. So the way in which we Hannafied this sitcom trope was instead of having to be on 2 dates at the same time, she had to be both her personalities on 1 date.
Oh, okay.
Right. She had to be Hannah and Miley both to make 1 date work.
You're right, Shannon. That does sound familiar.
Yeah. Interesting.
I wonder
now,
who did it better.
Well, I can tell you.
Wait to talk about the Hannah Montana movie.
My thoughts about the Hannah Montana movie aside, I can tell you we did not do it better. This episode to me, I don't think we did this well. We talked about in the previous podcast the idea that we made this left turn into a very emotional place, right?
Right.
Mom dying and not being ready for dad to date again. We took a left turn in this one, and I don't think we really got anywhere.
Yeah.
And we constructed it very much like that other one. It was supposed to be like that. That was the paradigm, and I don't really think we got there entirely.
Yeah.
So, I mean, my feelings on this one are
Don't be so hard on yourself. You
Okay.
You look like. Oh, do we need to have an intervention?
I know, exactly.
He's looking a little.
Does somebody need to
little
call
defeated.
BetterHelp?
the things I did like, though, about this little, my memories of this, I'm okay.
Okay.
The doo-doo joke always makes me happy.
Yeah, I love
because
good doo-doo
I am a 57-year-old man, and anytime anyone says doo-doo, I still say, he said doo-doo.
Yeah.
I mean, it really makes me laugh.
Yeah.
And then the other memory I have of the construction of this episode was that I remember pitching the pork chop joke as a placeholder. As a this is a bad example. What do you want to say, Jason?
Here we go.
No. Do it look like him? Yeah. No, so what's funny is every time I hear the setup for that joke, what do you call a pig who knows karate?
Right.
I'm always surprised by the punchline because in my head I immediately go chop suey.
Yeah.
But it's pork chop. I don't know why, but my brain is broken and I just think chop suey. Suey! Chop suey. Chop suey. Nobody gets it. It's fine. I know. And that's why my brain is broken on this one.
Anyway, that was supposed to be a placeholder. And then it was stuck, and Billy was so funny doing it.
Yeah.
And it just worked so well.
He's just so pleased with himself.
Yeah,
with that joke.
and
It's like pork chop,
Peterman,
bro.
I remember Peterman saying to me, one of the other executive producers on the show saying, "It's so bad, it's perfect. It's so bad, it's perfect."
Like perfect dad joke.
Yeah, it is the perfect
Yeah.
bad dad joke, and so I love that little moment. But the actual story construction of can we turn a story that you've seen before on its ear and make it a Hannah episode? The super sneak, I think, was way more successful at that than this.
Yeah, so you're talking about sort of pitching these jokes that you really wanted in. I always get a little confused about how that writer's room is set up. We all were convinced that it was a specific writer writing a specific episode as opposed to team writing the episodes. And the reason why that was is because we would get the script and we'd look at who wrote it and then we'd be like, oh, Doug wrote it, it's going to be pretty funny. And then sometimes you'd be like, oh, it's another writer wrote it, and it's oh, there's going to be a lot of everybody's playing a 60-year-old Jewish woman,
Right?
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? The punchlines are all and I think we actually probably didn't really understand how the writers' room worked because that's not what it was, right?
Well, for us, traditionally yes, but
Yeah.
for us, we ran out of time very quickly on that show.
Yeah.
Normally you would. And I'm sure some of you know this, but normally you would have a writer go off with an outline, come back, get notes, go off with a first draft, come back, get notes, and then the room would then do a punch-up on it.
That's
so everyone
all
would,
seven of the
everybody would.
writers and yeah.
But that process took too long for us.
Yeah.
So there are a handful of our episodes that are written singularly by one person, and then that process happened. Most of our episodes, we sat down, beat the story out. We call it beating out the story. We beat the story out on the board, put
Very
everything.
aggressive.
Very aggressive. We
Interesting.
wrestled that story to the ground, put it on the whiteboard, and then all 10 of us in a room together, page 1, let's go, fade in. And it sounds crazy, but it is 10 painters all on the same canvas, all painting at once.
Yeah.
And, whoever on the day was different, but whoever on the day was running the writer's room, often it was me, had to sort of gear all the painters to paint in the right direction and paint the same picture.
Here's a question for you though too. Did you guys after a while, and I know that this is, I might be getting in the weeds here, but did you guys after a while, is there one person who wrote better for like Jason and then one person wrote better for Mitch and
well,
like
you're
that?
getting to the point, which is sometimes you saw, written by Andrew Green or whatever, and you'll see, oh, this feels like an Andrew Green episode. I see the exact opposite. I look at it and I can pick out, that's me, that's Andrew, that's Peter. And like, for example, Steve Meyer was one of our writer's assistants, but he was from Iowa. He was he was a little bit Southern. And so I pick out a lot of the Southernisms that came from Miley and Billy were Steve Meyer. And I can pick him out. And I can pick out other writers who, and again, you have a wheelhouse as an actor, you have a wheelhouse as a writer.
Right.
And some people were better at pitching puns. Some people were better at pitching certain jokes.
Andrew Green, I always like the thing that always stuck with me is that he was really good at like the alliteration names. So if it was like, Billy Brown Boogers or whatever, like, like
Dandruff Danny.
Dandruff Danny. Like he was always the guy that would like pitch whatever the alliteration funny name was. Shanny, was there anything that like popped out to you like when we did the?
I always was so Cooper. If throughout this, when Cooper was on the show, you guys had a handshake.
Yeah.
Who came up? Did you guys come up with that together?
Yeah, I mean, that's actually one of the things that I've just generally been embarrassed about. Because, it was one of the things that I was really, really naive when we first started. There were so many times that, like, things would be in the script, and I was like, oh, they'll, like, explain what it is. So it's like, Cooper and Jackson do a really elaborate handshake, and I'm like, I can't wait for somebody to show me the handshake. And then you're on set, and they're like, yeah, do the handshake. And I'm like, and so we go, and it's like, cool. Do you know what I mean? Like I was just like looking back, I'm so disappointed what that was because there's like a million things you could have done. And actually, because of that, there's something that we'll talk about in a little bit that happens for the first time in this episode that like comes out of me recognizing that sometimes it's just going to say something on the page. And if you want it to be not boring and pedestrian, if you want it to like have a shot at being a legitimate joke, you kind of got to go all in and go a little too far, and I do that much to my chagrin in this episode. So we'll talk about that in a half a second.
Wait to hear what that is.
I know.
There were a couple of things in rewatching it. I was like, why is Cooper's sister in a school on the East Coast? Like, what did she do that was so? I mean, it kind of maybe the answer.
Well, there is an answer.
Oh, there is.
The answer. Well, our logic.
Aside from it being convenient.
I just assumed that like it's Malibu and everybody's rich, and so she just like whatever she was like
that's true
at a boarding
too.
school away. But
no, it was all because when you see her for the first time and she hits on you, you don't know who she is.
Well,
no,
yes.
I get like the logic of why she doesn't live with him and why, but like
why the fancy school? I mean,
but just like
it's like he doesn't go to a boarding school.
Right. Well,
why'd they ship her off?
She was smarter than he was.
Okay, that tracks. That
okay.
tracks.
Yeah.
Based on the drawing faces on the tummy that we talked about last episode. That makes sense. That she was the smarter. Okay, I buy that.
But also, like, there are a couple of Disney things in here that would never happen now. Like the minute Josh walks in the front door of the house and he goes, "Hey, hottie," and he's like, does the double finger guns, which is like a total big no-no now. Like, you're not allowed to do that. He just isn't. That's just not the way it goes
so silly
anymore.
What you are and aren't
and like how he talks about how hot she is, like on the couch. It was like
he says that, and I go, ugh. I don't like that at all.
And then also there was like I heard for the first time the like amped up woos and oohs and like.
Are you talking about the audience reaction?
Yeah, the audience reaction. And is this the first? Was this the first one we did in front of an audience?
Oh, that's a really good question.
Well, I do remember this. The first episode we shot in front of an audience, it was a living room scene.
Yeah.
And we were taking bets as writers how far through the scene. It was like a 3 or 4 page scene, and we were taking bets on how far you would get in the scene before you had to stop because you had never shot in front of an audience before.
Yeah.
And you guys were unbelievable. You went through the entire scene, waited for laughs, nailed everything, and we all looked at each other and went, we all looked at each other and seriously, we're like, oh my God.
But I do remember, like, because I think this is one of the first episodes that I coached on. And so, like, there were things in here that I was like, oh, yeah. But here's a fun fact. And you know this, and Jason, you know this too. But if you don't know, the editor has a whole library of oohs and ahs
And different laughs.
and laughs and different things so they can sweeten whatever is there. And the audience is recorded on a totally separate channel in microphone land. So, because it's hanging over the audience. And also, like, you can cut out the audience reaction altogether and just drop in your own ooh and ah. And it can be like a little laugh or a big laugh.
Yeah, there's a little bit of TV magic. Yeah.
But then this was the first time I heard the woo. I think when they reveal Josh in his wetsuit, that was,
that was 100% not real.
And also, like,
I can tell you for a fact that wasn't real because we didn't shoot the beach scene when we first shot our audience show. We didn't shoot a beach scene in front of an audience.
But that doesn't mean we didn't pre-shoot it.
Yeah.
No, we did pre-shoot it, but there wasn't a woo. There wasn't a real audience,
live
audience woo.
Yeah.
That was a machine woo.
So for me, like going back and rewatching it, like I think that one of the things that like really stands out is how much I love the kitchen table scenes. More often than not, they're really, really funny or heartfelt, or they're at the emotional crux of the episode. And in this one, there's not a ton that I love in this episode. If I'll be honest,
me neither.
It's still worth talking about. But I love the phone call with Billy Ray, and when Josh calls to talk to Miley, and she's like, she doesn't want to talk because she's all upset that Josh doesn't like Hannah Montana, and Billy's like, she's in the bathroom, it could be a while, and she's like, Dad, and he's like, oh, sounds like she's finishing up, and she's like, like as just a guy, like I found it very, very funny, and Jackson, that would have been again one of the reasons why he idolizes Robbie, because he doesn't even understand how freaking funny he is.
Yeah, 100%.
But so for me, the kitchen table scenes were always like a highlight, and I always hoped that I was in them. Were they in the writer's room? Were those like the easier scenes to write? Were they the funner scenes to write, or was it more like the crazy random set pieces that were happening in episodes?
It was fun to write all of it, but I will say there's a freedom when you're writing just a 3-person scene, and you don't have to worry about all this business and this crazy stuff and stuff, to be able to find your humor in character humor as opposed to she's got to fall over the couch and run over the berm and fly and
get spaghetti dumped on her.
I do like those bits. Like
the bits are great
in general,
but it's also
but writing them, it's more satisfying sometimes to write good dialogue, good character, real dialogue, like those table scenes.
For sure.
It's sometimes more fun, but it's also scarier because you don't know what Billy and Miley at that point were going to do.
The thing about it is I was never as worried about like them in that way. Like even when they weren't like necessarily technically as skilled actors as like Emily or whatever, who I think approached it with more of a process. Billy Ray and Miley were so just naturally charming. Like they're so likable, and like Miley's energy is so fun, and it's such a great counterpoint to like just the grounded, stoic nature of Billy, that even when Billy finds something funny, when he gets that little twinkle, like he's like, it's just so fun to watch.
But we had to back to your original question.
Yeah.
It took us a long time to figure out how to write that for him so that he was comfortable saying the words in the order. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
So it's an art form to try to figure out, to make him as natural as he is.
Yeah.
Right? And that was difficult for us.
And I think one of the things, too, that was like really amazing about getting to be the acting coach on the show is that there were a lot of times when, especially with you, Jason, where we would like run bits by each other.
Yeah.
You would come to me and say, Shanny, I was thinking about I would do it this way, or you would run like line deliveries or bits by me.
Yeah,
and
you
that
were my
was
go-to to like
so
sounding
satisfying.
board. Like,
Especially if you wanted to surprise everybody in the run through.
That was something that I was very big on. Like, I didn't necessarily want to like tip my hand in something that I thought was really funny, where it could get noted into oblivion, where it's not going to be funny anymore.
Yes.
So I would oftentimes hold things back until either a run through, when like I could show it to the network, and the network would be like, "That's genius! Like, don't cut that."
Yeah.
You little devil, you.
Yeah.
You work in the system.
I was absolutely working the system.
But also with Billy Ray, getting to run lines with Billy Ray and actually getting to coach. You know what I mean? It was so so satisfying,
Yeah.
like to be able to watch a performance, to eke out a performance with somebody that like was all there. It was just being able to help.
I
with
remember
that.
so much of like season one, early on season one was like just getting them comfortable.
Yeah.
Like getting
Yes.
Billy comfortable with like the tone, or like it's okay to be a little silly here, or like just getting him into like the kid sitcom mode of it all.
Mm-hmm.
And Shannon was like 100% the driving force behind that. You were like sort of the go-to as far as like, a lot of this stuff can make you feel really embarrassed, and it can make you feel like a little self-conscious, and like to have somebody to bounce that off of and like encourage you to be like, oh no, that's a good choice. Like they'll love it. And it really did like help speed that process up of getting us all on the same page.
Yeah.
So the other thing when I was looking through and watching the episode, the reaction that I had was, I'm just so glad that she doesn't end up with Josh.
Yeah.
Because that character is such a douche rocket. Like I just hate that character so much. And I'm sure that Daniel's a totally nice kid. And looking back, I feel really bad that my feelings are what they are. It's like the kid that played Joffrey in Game of Thrones. It's like the dude was just playing a part.
Right.
Yeah.
But the only time I was ever around him was when he was doing the scenes. I didn't have any other like scenes with him. So just like my general impression was always like, that guy. And I was just really happy that like they didn't end together. And I think a little bit of my big brother is coming out too,
Yeah.
because basically anytime there was a dude that was on set playing her love interest, I was like,
Yeah. You
who's
really.
this guy? You know what I mean? I just hated it. And so yeah, so I was very happy with how that turned out. And then sort of as a side note though, you know, we were on the set and we saw like the ebb and flow of the energy. Did you ever notice a difference? Like when we had cute boy cast members on the, you know, popping in for the week, was there like an energy shift? No TMZ like talking
No,
about
I
school
would
stuff,
never. I
but
would
just
never
like
tell tales
did
out
you
of school.
did
but
you
like,
did you notice a vibe shift?
Here's what I'm going to say too. Like in the as brief as I possibly can. When you grow up, like my observation is in the many Disney shows that I've worked on, this is high school for them.
Yeah.
So you don't go to regular school. Like being on your Disney Channel show is your high school campus. Those are your high school things. And then, you know, even later, like sometimes the shows would get together. And so the other shows were like rival high schools kind
Yeah.
of,
Oh, yeah.
or they
Yeah,
were
yeah.
the same campus sometimes if we were shooting on the same lot. But there was never an opportunity for that kind of, you know, regular high school experience.
Yeah.
And so yes, when there was like fresh blood that came onto the set, it was always really interesting to see what was going to happen, who was going to react to what.
Yeah.
And again, I know we'll get to this episode much later, but the cast of High School Musical came to the set of Hannah Montana, and that was wild because that was the first time that I saw Miley and Emily and Mitchell like react to these people as because they were movie stars.
Yeah. Because High School Musical came out before we
Right.
came out. Yeah.
Yeah. And so that was always kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Right. And I will always tell people, because people always ask that question, and I always say, just imagine if you were in junior high or high school and every single boy you liked, every single boy you dated, every single girl you asked out was all over the entire, like they blasted to the entire world, right? So they lived in a different reality where they had to keep things close to the chest because they knew anything they did that a normal high school person would do would be blown out of proportion. So they lived a slightly different life than we did as normal people.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, of course.
Yeah.
Like it didn't matter. It like not even just because it was a boy. Just like the same with like
it went both ways. You get
Amber
like a cute
and Ashley would come on the set. Amber and Ashley, like that changes
Its
the
own
kind of
vibe.
dynamic.
Yeah.
You know, everybody that is like of that age group. It was
Yeah.
so nice for them to have somebody who was fresh. That not that they, you know. Anyway, you understand.
Yeah,
what
no,
I mean.
but it's funny. Like you get like a cute girl to show up and be in the guest cast, and then all of a sudden, like, you know, Miley and Emily are stepping up their game and like what they're wearing to rehearsals a little bit. So like there was just like as the outside observer, as like the adult who was like getting to be in high school all over again with them, it was like the best like reality TV to watch, just from the standpoint of like these are like real kids like sorting out real relationships,
Right.
all in front of the entire universe while doing the same job. Like it's just craziness to observe. But I did like watching the ebb and flow of the energy based on who was in the episodes.
And can I just say that this is literally what we've been discussing is what our podcast is all about. Like, this is what was happening in front of the camera, and like all of this dynamic and shit that was happening behind the camera is like, that's why we wanted to do this.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that.
Yeah. Okay, so should we jump into the things we did right, the things we did wrong?
Before
and
we
the
jump
things
into that, what are you wearing?
Oh, shnikes.
What are you wearing,
Okay,
Jason?
well, no. First of all, we brought our A game today.
True.
You are rocking cheese jerky today.
Cheese jerky. It'll
Classic.
drive you berserky.
And we established that this clown over here was one of the two writers. I know. I remember Andrew Green. We got you. And you're rocking the Disneyland.
Yeah, it is an official Park Friends, not officially a Disney product.
That's right.
Official
true.
Park Friends on Instagram. And it does say, if you can see,
And
For
if
those
you're watching,
listening.
for those
watching,
just listening,
it does say danger. Don't look at the bald spot. Look at the back of the jersey.
Yeah. All right. This is going to play really, really well in the audio podcast.
Absolutely.
But I am as opposed to wearing my show appropriate stuff. Again, the only reason I'm doing this show with you guys is so I can shout out my favorite K-pop group, Stray Kids. And I am wearing my jersey with Changbin in the back. Last time it was Felix. This one's Changbin. If you're not on the Stray Kids bandwagon, then you're dead to me. Oh. No. No. But seriously, by the end of this, you guys are going to be rocking your own Stray Kids merch. And
I can't wait.
That's just how it is. Okay.
Can we get Stray Kids on the show?
Absolutely not.
Sorry.
No, I've been trying to get them to notice me for like 7 years now. I love them so much.
All right, what we did right.
Okay, what we did right, what we did wrong, and what we did different.
We would do differently.
Yes. As far as the right stuff, very little. Very little. I think Oliver is by far the funniest thing in this episode. He is such a donut. He's so oblivious. The end after Josh leaves the concert and he's just like, yeah, and Josh said it was the worst date of his life, but we decided not to tell you that because we didn't want to hurt your feelings.
Right.
And I'm just like, this kid is such a donut. I love him in this episode so much.
Donut.
The concert, by the way, side note, is absurd. It's the stock footage mixed with what we shot. The microphone changes. The spacing is wrong. Like, for a million reasons, it's a train wreck. But that made me laugh. But the one saving grace outside of Oliver, best thing in this episode is one of my favorite memes comes out of it, and it's me sitting on the couch ordering the pizza, and I'm like, I'm a 6'4" beach god. I get sent that like little meme all the time by friends, and it's one of my favorite little like outside of the show things.
Yeah, that's awesome.
For me, again, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Very little I liked. I'm happy that we got a kiss on camera because later on during our run, we got 2 kisses. We did get 2 kisses.
Yeah.
Later on during our run, we weren't allowed anymore. So we didn't have any kisses. That 4th season, we couldn't put kisses in.
Actually, that's not true.
I kissed Sienna in the last season.
Oh, you did? Well, but
And
you were an
also,
adult.
I directed Miley's first kiss
Which one?
on TV.
Which one? But what about the one in the airport? The one in
No,
the airport.
that's not the
No,
one.
did you
No, no.
kiss Jesse or Jake?
Jake Ryan, season 1.
Yeah, I hate that.
Okay, but we were specifically told we
hate
couldn't
that.
do certain things, and this I was proud we got that in.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was proud of the doo-doo joke.
Doo-doo.
I was
Doo-doo.
also. She said doo-doo. I was proud of of learning Oliver's character. Right, we were learning who he was. I was proud of that. I think we did that right. My biggest thing that I thought that I loved about this episode was. I hate, like you do, like you had mentioned earlier, that breaking the fourth wall thing,
Yeah.
right? I don't like that at all. And a lot of kids' shows were doing that in their tags. They're, doing outtakes and stuff that I thought ruins it. This tag in this episode where you're doing everyone is doing the Hannah song on the stage, that was kind of a not out of character, not out of reality, not breaking the fourth wall, but out of episode, right? It was this sort of separated but not separated tag, and I thought we did that. That was interesting and new and cool.
This is what I think was done right. You got to do your Irish dancing, which was ridiculous because like Lord of the Dance and
Like
River Dance.
why was that so popular back then? It was like crazy popular.
It was so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Lord of the Dance.
River
Anyway,
Dance.
and I love the tag too. I thought the tag was so much fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
And it was the first time that I noticed Emily break in a scene. Like, because she like the first time she hits the cup out of his hand, she is cracking up. Like she's just like, and that was unusual for her,
Yeah.
but it was a super funny.
Well,
bit.
she destroys that thing in his hands.
Oh.
She like slams it so hard.
And in case can anybody out there tell that there was absolutely nothing in that?
One of my
cup?
biggest pet peeves.
Oh,
I
yes.
hate that. Like when somebody's drinking and there's
And you can
obviously
hear
nothing in the
there's
cup.
nothing in it.
When it's just plastic ice cubes with like
Okay, and then the last thing I want to say, which was hilarious to me, was that venue, the stock footage of that venue with the burn-in. I think it was like
Oh, it was a bad burn-in.
bad burn-in
Bad
that
burn-in.
says Hannah Montana, just like live tonight, or live in concert. Hannah Montana. It looks like you're outside of like some West End British theater.
yeah, it's bad.
And then I would encourage all of you, look at the posters that are on the venue.
It's the Alex Theater, right?
I don't.
No.
No.
Oh, is that a
I'm
different
talking
one?
about just whatever the stock footage was. It looks like there's like a Kirsten Dunst play happening in the
jeez.
posters outside. It's hilarious.
Yeah. So Irish dance.
Irish dance.
Worst mistake of my life. That was 100% one of those things where, like, because I learned the lesson from the handshake, like nobody's going to teach you to do a good handshake. So I was like, well, what's the big funny here? What's something that like is better than just, like some crappy handshake? And so I feel like this was a moment that I had saved and showed like during a run through, or you know what I mean, like, and I broke out the Irish dance. And the thing I realized is, like, if you do a really funny catchphrase or you do a really funny physical bit,
Yes.
then suddenly you're going to do that for the next 4 years.
That's what you mentioned to the kids on Kicking It, that you were like,
Yeah.
you better you either tank it or sell it, because if you sell
don't
it,
tank it. That's being bad, but tank it.
but like tank it. If you don't like this, tank it. Because
yeah. And so I was just very much like, this is really funny, and I'm really proud of this random river dance moment. And then I was suddenly doing river dance all over the place. I was like, I would go out and do appearances at like, like on the weekends after we were done shooting Hannah, I would fly to Chicago and I'd go to a mall and I would do a meet and greet. And then I would come out and I'd be like, hey, and then I would start doing a river dance because people wanted the river. Like it was, and my knees are.
I'm sorry we made you famous. I'm so sorry we made you successful.
And you sound like my dad. One time I was complaining about something at work, and he's like, "How much did you make this week?" And I was like, "I got
you got you.
All right. You're right. Yeah. So Irish dance. But again, I think I hit that till the very end.
Oh, and also like the Sharon and like doing your Ozzy Osbourne. Did that ever come back? Just kidding.
Well,
I'm kidding.
No, but I was actually that was one of the things I was really happy that we stumbled upon, because
Yeah.
I never really thought of myself like, I'm not a good impressionist by any stretch, but I think I'm a really good mimic, and usually I can capture sort of a funny essence about something. So when we're doing Ozzy for the first time and it's like, Sharon,
Yeah.
I'm so confused.
Yeah.
Like those moments were so fun for me, and so Riverdance, I do like it, but I was like, holy shit, my knees can't take any more of this. And I do like the mimic stuff, but yeah.
Okay, so for you listening or watching, what was your favorite thing that Jason ever mimicked on the show? What was your favorite thing that he ever did?
Mine is Ozzy for sure, and I loved that when we bring it back, we'll get to that episode down the road, but like where I actually full on dress up like Ozzy. Highlight of the entire series.
I know what mine is, and no one will ever see it.
Oh,
no
me too.
one will ever see it, and it's my
that's-
favorite. It is my favorite Moises moment ever.
We'll talk about that episode when it comes up. It has to do with the specials where Rico and I were doing the musical transitions, where we were doing our. It's
God.
one of the best mimic jobs that we did, and nobody will ever
you
see
can't do
ever
it.
see it.
Yep.
It's so good.
ever.
Yep.
Okay, so what did we do wrong? For me, everything.
Yes, I was about to say.
All right, Dougie, hit us up with what did not work for you. What was wrong?
How much time you got?
You've
Yeah.
got
30 seconds.
What's the theme song?
30
title?
seconds.
Yeah,
we're going to play the theme song. Countdown.
I felt that this episode was a whiff.
Yeah.
I felt we missed. I felt we tried to do this twist that we did on Super Sneak, where we landed in a more emotional place, and we did not. I was not happy. And there were clues all along the way, and we should have known. Like, for example, in the big emotional scene, which is the scene where they sit down with her and after Josh is gone, it's a story between Emily and Lily, but all of a sudden Robbie shows up to literally speak for Emily. because Emily couldn't deliver that emotional. He will find, you'll find somebody that likes both of you. It was so weird and such a miss.
It was a little cute.
It was cute,
yeah.
but
I know what you
like
mean.
we wanted to wedge Dad in there, and it was a very
He
weird
didn't need to
thing.
be in there.
Like we should have left it a Dad story or left it a Lily story, one or the other.
Right.
The other thing is it doesn't match with the pilot for me. The pilot for me is don't like me because I'm Hannah, like me because I'm really Miley.
Right.
This episode is I have to find someone who likes both. It can work, but I think we danced it in a way that made it not work.
Yeah.
It doesn't match. It doesn't jibe
Yeah.
with me. Jibe is a word. It's not jive. It's jibe. Look it up, kids. Go to the internet. It's jibe with a B.
That's what people are here for.
This is what the writer cares about.
Yes.
But it just didn't match for me, and we should have known when all of these things started not matching up that we
Missed.
had not been telling the right story all along. I just don't think it was
Yeah, I
the
mean,
right story.
I sort of like justified it. Like I rationalized it with like Hannah's obviously still a big part of her life. So if she's interested in somebody, she doesn't want somebody to like. It's the pride of like, what do you mean you don't like me as an artist? Even if she wasn't interested in dating him, that would be a tough pill for her to swallow. But I agree.
But
I think it doesn't really jibe with the pilot.
But there were two different things that I think we just sort of missed, which is the first is the B story has an emotional base to it, right? You have to choose between your loyalty to your friend and this hot girl, right? And the A story lacked that. So it was kind of, it imbalanced the episode a little bit. And then the concert, it was the wrong way to go about that episode. They wanted the concert. We had to do this big thing. But if you had just done a big Hollywood party and in one room was, some interviewer that she had to talk to, and in the other room was Josh, she could have, I don't know how we would have made that work, but she could have gone back and forth between the two rooms, pulling the wig off, instead of this crazy...
Like the movie?
Yeah, right?
Side note, if she's on this world tour, why is she playing Los Angeles in every single episode?
In a small theater that looks like,
after
Kirsten
playing the
Dunst
stadium?
was there.
Yeah.
It is crazy.
Yeah,
right.
and the secret identity of the concert too is out of its mind. She's literally running around backstage.
So tell us about that.
As Miley, no backstage pass, snatching pretzels out of crew guys' hands, and then 60 seconds later, as Hannah Montana saying, "What was it? You're losing it, Daddy," loud enough for everyone. Like, who is Billy Ray in this scene? I'm going to ask this every time. Who is Billy Ray in this scene? I don't understand.
Again,
it's crazy.
I take this as a personal insult. We ran out of time. We're learning. We're learning how to do it.
I know.
But it was for me too. I hated it. It was
this
a
cleans
whiff.
up as the series goes on. We won't be doing so much of a
hate fest
with this. No. I actually, there's things that work. And again, if you look at it in the terms of like this is children's television, it's totally fine.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's just some of these the keeping track of the secret. We just got better at as time went on, and we weren't great here.
Yeah.
So Shanny, what about you? What
do we do? I mean,
what is wrong?
there is nothing that I just would be piling onto you guys here, and I think that it was clear that the show is finding its way.
Yeah.
Finding its way with the
That is
secret.
the most gentle way to put it.
Finding its
Thank
way with the
you.
secret, finding
Yeah.
its way with these characters, finding its way with like trying to like Hannah-fy something.
Yeah.
Right.
And it just fell short. And that's okay.
That happens.
Fell short, and yet still had several really iconic comedic moments, and then has a fantastic end on the porch.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And also I will say this.
Or I mean,
No,
in
no,
the
in the movie theater.
in the movie theater.
In the movie theater.
Where like you get your nice little moment, and and you're good.
Yeah.
But I will say this too. What was done wrong was there was an opportunity to smash that cup out of Oliver's hand one more time.
Yeah.
And if comedy works in threes,
Which it does. It always does.
then Emily should have like smacked that.
It
out of
was.
Mitch's
And I
hand.
will say this, yes. Even our failures
Yeah.
still somehow, and that to the testament of Miley and you and Billy and Emily and the music and the fandom.
Yeah.
Even when we as writers and creators put you in a position that it set you up to fail, you ended up milking a good episode out.
Yeah.
We're being super, super critical.
I know
just
this is
because-
this is in
'Cause it's fun.
retrospect.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
how would we?
Yeah, so you guys did
Anyway.
great. It's still a great episode, even though I take full responsibility for the horror that you
I'm
said.
glad you said it.
Yes. So that being
So
said,
what would you do differently? If you had one more crack at it, what's a little thing you'd tweak?
Yeah.
I would not tweak a little thing. I would tweak a big thing, and you're going to hate me. I would switch stories. I would say Miley wants to date Lily's brother, and she's caught between loyalty to Lily and her hormones. That was the good story. That was the real story. That had an emotional base to it.
And then Jackson would have gone on tour.
Then
and
no,
run
then
back
Jackson
and
could have
forth with-
swapped between 2 dates or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Do you concur?
I think switching stories would have been interesting.
Yeah.
But
Maybe
then
it's
you
a
would have been
season
adding.
3 thing.
Then you would just been adding a whole new character
Yeah.
of Lily's brother that
I-
you would have had to
yeah.
bring back and stuff like
I
that.
also I think you're definitely wrong. I think it's a terrible pitch. It's a terrible pitch, Doug. Mostly because side story.
Yes.
I believe we shot the Hannah Montana movie between season 2 and season 3.
Yes.
Of the show.
Yes.
And so while we were in Tennessee, Emily and I were like talking about, future storylines and things that we thought were funny. And I believe Steve Peterman, who was our fearless leader and showrunner of the show, came out and visited us while we were in Tennessee. And we pitched him the story of what if Lily has a crush on Jackson? And that's actually a better version of this story.
Yes.
Yes.
Because now it's Miley who has to react to the thing, and in the reaction is the funny and like the lesson.
You're absolutely
versus
right.
like doing the other. So I think we actually do this the right way later when it's Lily having a crush on Jackson. So I would not.
You're absolutely right.
Switch.
And just to circle back for 1 second, because twice we talked about how the movie did the same thing.
Yeah.
Because they saw our failure, basically. They were like, oh, that's a good idea that they screwed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's best it. Okay.
Yeah.
And I know you guys both have very strong. They have very strong feelings about the movie. So I think we will definitely do some special episodes where we, do like a nice little. Let's extend it because you guys love
Maybe
it so
we
much.
do like a 3-parter.
We'll do a 3-parter, and we're
We'll
gonna
talk
break
about
the movie
each
down.
act.
I
of
won't
the-
survive it.
And that's why we're going to do it, so that way Doug's head literally explodes on
Yeah.
camera.
Right.
But I definitely want to, when we get to the right place in the story for
Yeah.
Well, I
this
know exactly
series-
where it is because we wrote up to it and then
Okay.
wrote, it's when you come back.
But,
Well,
relax.
We'll get there.
We will
We'll
get there. But I'm very much looking forward to subjecting Doug to the Hannah Montana movie episodes for sure.
Jace, do we have any audience
We do.
questions?
We do. So Aza Offline asks, what was your personal favorite thing on set, and did you take anything that caught your eye? Did you guys happen to swipe anything? I think we may have mentioned this once before, but did anything?
As I mentioned before,
Yeah.
I'm not a filthy thief, so I didn't take anything
She
off
has no
the set.
imagination.
Although there are plenty of things that I coveted. The guitars were
Yeah.
beautiful. Guitars would have been awesome.
I did
to take.
mention what I took in a previous episode, but I did not mention my favorite piece of the set, which was the legs table.
The
Oh
legs.
my
The
God,
legs
the
table.
legs
Yeah.
Every scene in the living room is that table that is half human, half table, and that legs table is the
Yeah.
most ridiculous thing in the world.
And I've mentioned before, but the silver booty is for true friend.
Wait, hold on.
yeah,
is
yeah.
Is it this?
Yeah, for those listening, and we're showing the silver
The
booty.
silver booty, which says true friend.
True friend, and that's right from the set. I snatched that right as we wrapped the final episode. One of my all-time favorite things, and the thing that actually, like, one of the reasons why I brought this question up again for us to address is I realized in us talking this week that my greatest regret is not going up to wardrobe and just cleaning them out of Rico's t-shirts.
Oh my God.
I have 3, and they're all beat up, and I don't know how much longer they're going to last. But the actual genuine ones from the show, I wish I would have backed up a truck and taken the entire.
Maybe we
thing.
will get Dahlia on, who was our wardrobe
Yes.
designer, and maybe she can tell us where those exist now and where we can get them.
Yeah, that would be. I think we're going to try and do that for one of our interview episodes. We'll have Dahlia, who was responsible
Yes.
for all the styling, the Hannah Montana look, the glitz and the glam, the whole thing. We're gonna bring her on and have her share all of the juicy little tidbits.
Yeah,
for
I
that,
think
so.
that would be awesome.
And then our second question is from Hey, it's Jenna. She asks, were you personally Team Jake or Jesse? Do you guys have a...
Jesse!
Okay, I'll answer this question. First of all, Jake is the person that you fall in love with when you're 12.
Right.
Jesse is the person you fall in love with when you're a little bit more mature.
Okay.
He's a much more mature. So I would say Jesse, although the answer is Lily. The answer, it's not a romantic thing. It is a primary relationship thing. She has to choose. In the end, she makes the right choice, which is her best friend, Lily. Not Jake or Jesse. It's Lily. But I'm Team Jesse.
All right.
Team Jesse.
I'm Team Jesse all the way.
Team Jesse.
Team
all the way.
Jesse!
Yeah, Jake Ryan. I was just like again.
I love you, Cody Lindley. It was
Cody,
just like,
lovely
yeah.
kid, love Cody. But
we'll have
sweet
Cody on.
Jesus, Jake.
All right.
Yeah.
Tell it. Bring it. Tell
Okay,
us.
why is this called Who's the Boss? Bow.
Because
Who's the boss now?
Jimmy,
Who's the boss now?
Jimmy, the actor who played Jimmy, the
Security guard.
the security guard backstage, was our prop guy.
Mm-hmm.
Maddie.
Not to correct you,
Set
but he
down.
was our on-set
On-set.
dresser.
On-set
Oh,
dresser.
that's
On-set
what it
dresser.
was.
On-set
Gotcha.
dresser.
Larry.
Yeah, okay, you're right. you're
Larry
right.
was props.
So the man who played the security guard,
Yes.
Jimmy, was our on-set dresser.
Yes.
We gave him that part. His name was Matt. We called him Matty. And he was Matty Danza, Tony Danza's brother. And Tony Danza, for those of you, is the star of Who's the Boss?
Show called Who's the Boss. Yep.
Right?
That's
So we
right.
would always say when we saw Maddie acting, we were like, who's the boss now? Bow.
And if you are trying to look up Maddie Danza,
It's
it's
actually-
actually La Danza.
Oh, it
That's
is
right.
LaDanza.
Maddie
Yeah.
LaDanza.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's true. That Tony Danza's full name is LaDanza.
La Danza.
He
So-
changed it to be.
Good.
Okay.
Okay, so the answer for my little sweet niblet from the beginning, I don't know why I do it in that voice, it just comes out. Daniel Simonis played a role on another famous Disney show, and that role was Dean Malone, or sometimes credited as Dean Moriarty on Wizards of Waverly Place.
Yes.
And side note, he was like a reoccurring boyfriend for her for a while, for Alex Russo.
Alex Russo.
So he didn't like Miley or Hannah, but he did like Wizards.
He did. He,
like-
yes, he did.
And, Disney did a lot of that.
Yeah.
Where they would cast somebody in a guest star of something, and then they would go on.
Perfect
to,
example. Before Hannah Montana, I did 2 episodes of Phil of the Future. If you haven't watched that show, it is fantastic.
See, there you go.
All right, Shanny, hit us with the what was the show about?
All right, this episode was about changing who you are to make someone like you, and everybody does this to some extent or another. What is the most extreme thing you did or saw somebody do to change
I don't
who
think
they
it
are?
was extreme. It was just painful. I once told a girl that I enjoyed poetry, and then had to listen to her. Recite her own poetry endlessly for hours.
Yikes.
But I will say, look, when you ultimately find, and it doesn't have to be a romantic interest, when you ultimately find that person that you can be yourself around, your
Yeah.
true self.
Yeah.
No matter what your relationship is with them, no matter what the situation is, grab onto that person, because it is the most important thing to find someone you can be your true self around. Keep that person in your life at all costs.
Got him.
Oh my God, that's so beautiful.
And Jason?
The most extreme version of it for me, settle down. I pretended like I was 18, so that way America would love me.
That beats poetry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes, I did many a thing to make people love
Why,
me. And I think one of the biggest things that I ever did was give myself a mohawk.
Oh, you got pictures?
Oh, man.
Oh, you bring it up. You bring it up. It's
Pictures.
TikTok.
Tick-tock. I think it's going to happen. I have to find it. But
Okay,
I gave myself a mohawk in order to fit in with a group of people. I felt like such a poser. I was posed, okay, what's the most extreme thing you did? Or somebody that you know did? Or you can say it was somebody else when it was actually you.
Or you can say it was you, admit to who you are, post a picture. We're going to love it.
Yes, 100%. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
There's so much happening right
I
now.
know. Like so many different ways that you could.
Okay, you are my favorite people, but have we done it? Did we do it? Did we do
did
the
it.
thing?
We're done. Oh,
God,
my
I hope we did
You
it.
feel good about it? All right. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with us. If you want to watch the pod, make sure to subscribe to Best of Both Our Worlds YouTube channel. Please hit the like, make a comment, ring the bell, do all the things that helps the algorithm. Maybe one day we'll be so big that, number 1 and 2 on the call sheet will come hang out with us for a little bit.
Maybe.
Please follow the show on Instagram at Best of Both Our Worlds Podcast, on TikTok at Best of Both Our Worlds, and on X at Babow Podcast. Shanny, you want to hit him with your social?
Yeah, my social for this is theshannonflynn.babow
Dougie?
on Insta.
Oh, sorry.
That's
Dougie?
okay.
On Insta, I am at Douglas.danger.
I love that. And on Instagram, I am Real Duke of Earles. And on X and TikTok, I am Duke of Earles. So here we go. This has been Best of Both Our Worlds, created and hosted by Jason Earles, Douglas Danger, Lieblein, and Shannon Flynn. Executive producer Renee Colvert. Engineered and edited by Jeffrey Murphy. Original music by Joe Serafini. And social media strategy by Shelby Stahl, Beloved Social. And with that...
Good day, Daddy. I said good day. Woo!
Ooh, freeze frame on that face. We did it.
We did it.
All
Thank
right, see you guys
you.
next time. Get home safe.
Drive safe.
If they're driving right now, it's a problem.
It's
Oh,
a
if you're
podcast.
driving right now, it's the
It's a
perfect.
pod. Wait, this is a podcast.
Bye.
What? Wait. I don't have a voice for a podcast.